This is show 60 of the Diaper podcast, and today's guest is a very special guest because she is one of my most recommended guests the last time I put a call out for listeners to recommend somebody. Today's show is with Blythe. Blythe is the mama and creator behind the work-at-home mom brand, Blythe Life Creations. I have a hard time saying that, but you are going to love this show. This was such a fantastic conversation, and this is only the intro, and I'm still rambling. The Cloth Diaper podcast is a podcast dedicated to sharing stories from cloth diaper brands, retailers, and parents around the world. My name is Bailey. I'm the host of the podcast, and I don't think I've done a little intro in a while, but I'm a mom of two. I have my daughter squirming around here in the office with me as I do this intro, and I live in northern British Columbia. I'm the author of the book Cloth Diapers, The Ultimate Guide to Textiles, Washing, and More. It's available as a paperback on Amazon, and you can find it as an ebook on Google Books, Apple Books, as well as Amazon. Anyways, today's guest, Blythe. I had no idea what I was getting into when I started this interview. It is a little bit of a longer show. I do think that you are going to love it. I mean, so many of you guys recommended this creator to me. She has a beautiful story, one that I think everybody needs to hear and feel inspired by. This is exactly the energy that I want to go into 2021 with. And yes, all right, let me stop talking because we got a long show to go to. And your brand, a little like elevator spiel about who you are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very much humbled whenever people had requested me, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't like public speaking nor being broadcasted, but I will do my best here. So, I mean, I am, yes, Blythe. My name means joy and happiness, a life full of contentment. And so that's why I went with Blythe Life. So kind of my goal with this, I just, more than anything now in the time that we live in, I feel like there needs to be space for compassion, especially in the season us mommies are in right now. And more than ever, do we need safe places? And so, yes, I make pretty diapers, but I think the most important thing to me is the fact that I want to keep a safe haven for moms who are going through the desert seasons of their lives, to be able to have people that they have something in common with. They love cloth diapers. If you do, usually you're an addict or you're wanting to really save money. And so there's definitely those two different communities that are there. But, you know, having something healthy where it doesn't matter your background, your belief system, you're coming together with a group of moms who didn't sleep last night either, who are also running on caffeine. Who can just laugh with each other, but also lift each other up, hold up each other's arms whenever we need somebody to rely on. And that's kind of the space that I want to create in social media. And yeah, it terrifies me because people can be pretty brave behind a computer screen.
Oh, yes.
And say things they would never say, you know, whenever you have somebody face to face. And so I want to have a protected space where moms can come and just join together. And I also feel like my journey to this spot has really kind of cultivated that in my heart, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to be a mom. I didn't think I would. We had miscarried. We struggled with infertility, tried to get pregnant forever. I am definitely like the creative brain. And so organization, housework is not my forte, but I've always had this heart of, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. So when Corey and I got married, we moved here to work, and my heart just wasn't content and I wasn't happy, and we lost our first, and kind of released me and gave me that permission. You know, if you want to stay home and your heart is there, then go ahead and give your notice, and let's see what the future holds. So
what were you doing before? What was your career path?
We were living in Colorado Springs at the time, and he worked at Compassion International and I worked at Focus on the Family. I was working in guest services in the events department and helping with those areas, and loved it. I loved the people. amazing to be able to connect with the guests that came in and just be able to care for others. But my heart was definitely at home. And so I gave a 2-month notice because that's who I am. I can't release things well, and I want to make sure things don't like have hiccups. And so 2 months, last day of work, positive pregnancy test.
Aww.
And that was Charity. That was my first. She's 9 years old right now. And so through her came a lot of healing. I wasn't able to talk about miscarriage. I feel like it's such a taboo in the culture that we live in, but I feel like it is a topic that women are starting to open up about and being able to connect on. And there's so much pain in it, but also freedom to be able to have a safe space to speak to other moms who've been there, before. And so having Charity, I was able to really walk through the process of healing and navigating those spaces in my heart that just held on to a lot of pain. Because it took us a really long time to get her, and she was precious. She had severe reflux, and I was convinced that, I wanted 4 kids, and then I had her, and I was like,
reflux,
one or two
baby.
Is good.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. No.
Those newborn days are so hard, and they fly by though, right? I had a colicky kid, and sometimes I'm still like, maybe a third isn't so much a bad idea.
Right? It puts the fear in you. You're just like, oh Lord, have mercy. If my next one is colicky and severe reflux, like, I don't know, like there's not enough coffee in the world to get through this. But we did. I mean, I remember calling Corey over lunch, just like, are you coming home yet? Because baby screaming in the background, I'm crying. He's like, oh my gosh, you're a hot mess. But we got through it. So we did want to have another one through the fear of, the fear that Charity put into us. But we did want to have another one and just tried infertility again. Charity is 3 years old, and I finally figure out what's wrong with me. You go to doctor's appointments all the time. They're just like, oh, just take some pain meds. You'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And so, I went in, I was having burning in my side, and I come from stubborn. My daddy is a weed farmer from Kansas. And definition of stubborn, I know he's going to listen to this, and so he's going to crack up. But he taught me, you work through the pain, and things are never easy, but those things are always worth it. And so I just taught myself, you have a high pain tolerance and you just make life work and you work through it. And I was just like, I just probably burn out a kidney taking ibuprofen all the time. I've got 2. So, I'm good to go. So went into the doctor's office and rushed me in for ultrasounds, and I need surgery. Apparently I have stage 4 endometriosis, and it's like a semi truck backed up into my stomach and just, dumps cement into my stomach. And that explained a lot of the pain and the frustration we've been having. And so went into surgery to try to save anything that they possibly could. And it's been a journey. I woke up from surgery, and praise God for my surgeon. She's meticulous, known to be meticulous. And I woke up from that surgery and found out I had bladder cancer. Never would have found it if it wasn't for the endometriosis and needing surgery for that. And so unfortunately, because I'd just been through surgery, they couldn't open me back up again to remove the cancer. They didn't want to biopsy it because they didn't want it to spread. And so for 2 months, 8 weeks, I sat in a recliner in the darkness, in isolation, not knowing what in the world the future looked like. Had this little 3-year-old baby girl who, just needed mama. And
3-year-olds.
Yeah. And she's definitely a mama's girl. She's always been clinging to me, and she's my little buddy. And your mind goes to fear, and your mind goes to worst case scenario, and your mind plays tricks with you when you're sitting there in the darkness. And I feel like those moments can refine and define, or they can destroy and damage. And I feel it's a choice. And in those moments, I feel like, it was definitely step by step, and it is one day at a time, and it is one moment at a time with how you're feeling and how you're navigating those things. But, when you look back on it, when you're on the other side of it, you know why you go through those things. In the community that we have with these moms, like, they're struggling and they're in the desert places, and there's health problems, marriage problems, issues in families with, people being depressed, especially right now in the season of life that we are all in. And I've had so many women reach out to me in private message, just sensing that there was something about me that I was a safe place that they could talk to. And I've been able to share my story and encourage them that through the fear that there is hope, that, no matter what happens, there's a plan for it in your journey and in your story. And I am living proof of it. So far, I've been clear of it. They've told me I wasn't going to be able to have any more kids. It's not possible. If we did have any more kids, 100%, it would be a tubal pregnancy. And so a couple of years ago, I caught Charity. She's been praying for a baby sister for forever and has been struggling to, navigate that as a little kid. Like, you mean I'm it? And I was like, yeah, kid, you're it. I threw myself into, the church nursery just so I could love on other little babies, and found myself the director of children's ministry, which, have mercy, I have no idea how I got myself into. But through that, I was just like, if I can't have any more kids of my own, I have 350 I can love on and give mom a break every once in a while. And so that I got my heart into this place of contentment of, I may not have my heart's desire, but I can still use whatever that calling is in me, to be able to pour into other little kids, spoil them mercilessly, and then give them back to their mom, which is really fun. So, yes. The aunt role is definitely sometimes a lot more fun. Yeah. Mama role. So I did that, and I found contentment. And one Christmas, I was saying I caught Charity. Because of the creative brain that I am, I've really fed the whole beast of, Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff. So, the elf came, and I caught Charity carrying elf around, whispering, "Baby sister." I was like,
I have a couple of friends who have kids who are only children. And so I know this bug well. The pressure they put on, the desire they have.
Definitely.
It's so crazy. And it's kind of bizarre to watch it play out in them.
It is. Yeah. It's kind of heartbreaking on the other hand too, because you're just, when and how do you explain that to a child of like, mom is not well, which you don't want to put fear into them or have her be afraid that mom's not okay. And that it's not possible physically, but we believe in miracles. And so, not like crushing her spirits and being like, sorry, kid, it's not going to happen.
Walking up.
But but on the bright side, you get all the Christmas presents. So, let's weigh this. But that New Year's Day, I was going to call my doctor because I was having a lot of pain again. And I had been on these shots that stopped hormones to try to keep it from growing and spreading. It's something that you just live with whenever you have endometriosis. And I just got sick of the shots because they made me feel worse and drained my energy. And I wasn't who I wanted to be. And so I was just like, I'm not going to take this thing anymore. So I started having a lot of pain again. I was like, fine. And they always make me take a pregnancy test before they give me the shot because, that could miscarry if you're pregnant, which is a long shot. Pee on the stick. I'm at my parents' house in Kansas. I about fall over. It is positive. My husband runs outside and screams at the top of his lungs. Sorry. And that was baby Hope. And, they told me 100% she would be a tubal pregnancy. So they rushed me in for ultrasounds and she was right exactly where she was supposed to be.
A tubal would have been like in the fallopian tubes.
Yes. Correct? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There would have been no way for her to get through all the scar tissue is what, all the doctors told me. Ultrasound techs were in tears when I was in there. It was it's mind blowing. Like, my babies are a miracle and I'm so thankful for them. And so through Hope, all of that to say my cloth journey, more so even, the relating with other moms who've been there. Cause I cannot even tell you how many have opened up to me and said, we're struggling. We've been trying to get pregnant and I'm getting all these little diapers and I'm collecting them and they're in my drawer and they're just pain when I look at them, and I can relate to that. I have stuff in my drawer I looked at too and then closed it and put on a smile and went about life. And that's a miserable place and it's isolating, and you need community, you need healthy community to walk through that and encourage you and lift up your arms. And for that, I'm very thankful for the journey I went through, because I can see this is more than diapers. I can see that there is a community of women who need, a comrade, someone who can see their pain. But
it's so hard to find those spaces in the world, and somehow through cloth diapering, I don't even know how other moms find connection. I guess I know my sister has reached out a few times, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's hard to find. They're there. It's just you have to search for them and to find a safe place.
That's the hardest part, is these safe spaces. And that's been such a resonating conversation. I think I had a conversation with a mom called Jade from Crunchy Culture last week. And she too was just like, creating these safe spaces have been the most important part about my cloth journey as well.
For sure. Yeah, I love that. I love that there are other fellow mamas out there who are, stepping out of fear. Creating something beautiful, but also building community in the process. And I think that beyond selling cloth diapers is just such a cool thing. And I love that people are starting to do that. With charity, I was terrified to cloth diaper. I mean, again, creative brain, I cannot keep up with my dishes and my laundry. And people are just like, you want to do cloth diapers? Like, that's really cute, Life. You can't even keep up with life, friends. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's really funny. And so
it's different.
It's true. And I didn't realize that. It's so true. It's actually, because my rest of my family could have no clean clothes, but Hope had the cutest diapers on her booty, because I was just, it's fun. It's actually fun to fold that laundry. It's not fun to fold mundane laundry.
It's a different type of chore. Yeah.
It is. So with Hope, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let voices get in my head anymore. I'm going to try this out. And, if it doesn't work out, I can sell them and, go back to disposables.
How old is Hope?
She's 1. She just turned 1 in August.
This is a super recent story for you.
It is. Okay. Yeah, I'm a newbie to this whole area. So, when I was pregnant with her, I had placenta previa and I had way too much amniotic fluid. And so I was a whale. I was a whale on the couch who couldn't move, watching YouTube cloth diapers. And so that's what I did. I watched your stuff. I watched Jay's Nest. I watched a couple of others. And through that, I started my little collection of the different types, because you all say, don't get married to one type because it may not work for you or, work for your entire journey. So, I had friends laughing at me because I had every type of system, because I wanted to try them all, because I didn't with charity and I wished I would have. And I wanted to experience it all this time because I knew Hope was my last one. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try it and I'm not going to be afraid, and it's going to be fun. And it really was. And so I started with, the all-in-ones and the pockets, and then started branching out into when Hope was around 6 months old. I love hand dyed, and then stretchy flats. Everybody was screaming.
Oh yeah, that was such a trend.
The way to go. Yes. And so I was like, yes, stretchy flats, hand dyed. Yes, give it to me. And so, you're trying to get on the computer and refresh your screen for all these mom shops, that have their beautiful hand dyed pieces of artwork basically on it, something you put on your child's rear end, and you're refreshing your screen to try to beat everybody else out to get this diaper. And it was just fun. It brought a lot of joy in collecting and trying new things. And in that process, I love stretchy flats. I love their creativity, being able to fold and manipulate it and customize it just for your baby, for the absorbency that you need. Night times are so much better with stretchy flats, where you can boost them and you still get the good leg seal and the absorbency. But my kid was getting to that crocodile rolling stage where you're just you have this beautiful folded diaper and you put your beautiful little baby on it, and then they rip it out from underneath them, and you're just like, well, crap, we've got to start all over again, or I'm just going to slap it into a cover and, all my folding was pointless. So I was just like, how can I get this to be a little bit easier, the functionality of it a little bit easier, but still have that creativity of like being able to customize and fold. So I tried pre-flats and I love them, but I'm having a hard time getting, the leg seal or the absorbency that I need. So that's kind of where I came up with the fixed flat, where I love the origami, modified origami fold. So I put that on the table. I draw it around it. And then I was just like, what can I incorporate in this that would make the perfect diaper? So add a good tummy panel for extra absorption and keeping that flat up so it doesn't constantly flop down. I can't even tell you how many times I have found Hope in the corner peeing with her flat, the front of the flat off of her diaper as she's running around colorless. And so I'm like, how do I try to avoid that?
Children are so interesting.
They are, and as a mom, you're just like, how do I fix this? Or do I care? And do I have the energy to try to fix this? But I was like, I'm going to fix it. Of course, that stubbornness coming in again. Thanks, Dad. And so I modified it, took out some bulk that the origami fold had, and came out with this really cool shell that gets an amazing leg seal. Super easy, even for beginners. I mean, my husband can put them on, which is saying something. I love you, babe.
Pictures somewhere?
I do.
It laid out.
Yeah, I do. I'll have to send it to you.
Okay, send me one because I'm on your socials and I'm on your website and I'm like, what does this look like that she's trying to explain to me? Yeah. Okay, send me a picture. I'll definitely include it for the show notes so that people I'm kind of imagining a little bit like Noble Baby.
Yes, like with their pre-flat, is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like a triangle shape with a tummy panel at the bottom, and then I have an insert attached at the top, but you can do all of the folds. Yeah. So because I love easy laundry. If I'm going to do my laundry, it better be easy. And so I wanted inserts attached, but yet free flowing so that they wash and dry really fast and really easy and thorough. So it's kind of like a half flat where for the regular, it's one layer of an absorbent fabric. The double is like a heavy wetter absorbency. And so I attach it at the top of like the outer part of the fixed flat, just a few inches at the top. I serge it in, reinforce it. And then you have this free, like half flat almost, that you can fold into those really cool folds and modify your absorbency.
Okay. I found your IGTV now.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. And then you can, pull that up and wrap it around the baby, get that really tight leg seal, wrap it around and use like a snappier, Boingo or Bandy, whatever you have on hand, to be able to fasten it. So
right. Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So it's definitely different. Everybody is, I tried to do my research to make sure there wasn't anything like it on the market because I love original ideas. And so people are saying they haven't seen anything like it. It's solving a lot of problems, which makes me so excited because it solved our problems that I was having with Hope. And then you hand dye that thing and, it's pretty. So.
You're rocking. Yeah. Our conversation today has really tied together the last 6 podcasts that I've recorded. You've emanated so many themes about creativity and finding community and finding something that works and fixing all those little bubbles. Is that you have to talk to me about the textiles that you're using because you're also doing an incredible job there.
Oh, thank you.
Why Lysol? Why wool? Yeah. What is going on with your product is so unique now, not just in its shape, but in the product, the textile that you've chosen to use. So tell me why
my addiction has moved on from diapers to fabric, to be honest.
You're not alone in that. I talked with Assembly yesterday. She says she loves textiles too. I think it's like a second coming for all of us.
It is. And there's so many options out there. And I feel like you really do have to search for a good manufacturer. But the things that are key that I look for in good cloth diaper material are, of course, the absorbency potential of it. It has to be soft. It has to be stretchy. I'm all about the aesthetics of a fabric and the feel and the fit. It needs to be comfortable. A lot of, diapers with elastic and things like that. I don't want anything rubbing in or making any marks on them. And so that's one part of it. The other part too is when you're looking at like bamboo or wool, you have antimicrobial properties. When you're looking at those type of fabrics, when you get a low percentage of wool, you still get those good properties, but yet you can, wash it. It has absorbent properties, because when you're looking at wool versus like the wool covers that are supposed to be waterproof, this isn't wool that you would lay-analyze and want waterproof. This is wool that's supposed to hold a ton of water.
Yeah.
So, those are the kind of things that I look at, especially with bamboo, lyocell, tencel. Those are new things coming out. And I have people on my team that are also fanatics when it comes to fabric. So I can't take all the credit for this. They're like, hey, Blythe, let me send you some fabric. Can you make me a diaper and we'll test it out, kind of thing. So they're sending me fabric in the mail, like, feel this, you need to touch this, and then, there's also manufacturers that I have found and looking at just their product list and finding wool fleece, bamboo wool fleece. I'm like, that is something I haven't seen in the market before. And that was really awesome to work with. I love that. It turned out to be quite an amazing heavy.
Do you find, I think a lot of people, myself included, I've never really used wool as part of my absorbency.
Yeah.
But I know that it can be used in that way.
Yeah.
Do you find that is it almost kind of like a hemp-like quality in the textile, and that it holds it really well? Or how does it kind of work in the insert? I'm going to pick your brain about textiles.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's very similar to hemp, but hemp is really slow absorbing. Yeah. I think wool is a little bit faster, but it also holds a ton of liquid. I'm finding the bamboo hemp blends, because hemp itself is pretty rough.
Yeah.
So you try to find one that has a really good blend. I know there's some other companies out there who are having some blends manufactured specifically for them to help with the softness and the absorption, which is really cool that they're doing that and looking into it. With wool, you do have to prep it quite a bit as well, like with hemp, so that it can be absorbent, and you don't want those super high percentages either. You kind of want a good balance between another textile and the wool.
Yours is only 9%, did I read?
Yeah, I think it's 9%, and then like the organic cotton and bamboo, depending upon the blends in there. I believe it's bamboo and then wool, and then a little bit of spandex for stretch. So I really like using stretch in the insert too, because I feel like it kind of just fits in the creases and folds of your little really good too. Makes it really.
Does it like waffle when you wash it?
No, I haven't had any problems with it. I do think the only thing with a fleece in general, you'll get a little bit of pilling, and it depends on how you care for them too. Like if you're like me, I'm mean to my diapers. You'll probably. It's
reassuring to hear if the maker is mean. Hopefully that means that.
But I have to test them, right? I have to be sure they're not going to fall apart. I don't have time for hang drying, and so I throw everything on hot and heavy and dry time just to see how they do. And I think like with any kind of fleece, you're going to get a little bit of pilling.
Yeah.
But if you are really, drying them on low settings or hang drying, especially low settings, I wouldn't suggest hang drying. They just take forever to dry. But I think, they're lasting really good. They're wearing really well. And I think the longer I get into it and the more I research and find different manufacturers, I'm finding better quality of fabric too. And I think that's been really exciting to see from my first ones to, where we are right now. I do think that has helped a ton too, because I've been able to shop smarter, know what I'm looking for, and be able to do that at a wholesale price too.
I love that I'm hearing that you're just like, you're passionate and ensuring that you're continuing to create a better product, improve your product, use the skills that you're learning just to constantly be improving. It's just like it's a great thing to hear, I guess. I don't why. Yeah.
It's fun to me. I definitely nerd out on those things and business side of stuff. It's funny. Yeah, I remember sitting at freshman orientation, and you look and you're supposed to circle your major, and I was going towards art, and my mama, being the smart woman that she is, moved my hand and circled business administration. And I thank her to this day for doing that and disappointing me up front. But
every art major needs a business administration degree.
Something to fall back on.
Also, you can business your degree.
That's
art
true.
skill.
That is very true. Yeah, wise woman.
this podcast is my business in ways I do. Like I make money and stuff off of it, and just learning all of that is incredibly difficult.
It is. It can be overwhelming, but I do think like you got to give yourself some grace in that learning process and being able to take it one bite at a time. I have to remind myself all the time because I am an all or nothing kind of person. I jump in head first and then I'm like, well, crud, what did I get myself into? And I have to remind myself one bite at a time and I will get there. And it is fun when you do look back. I'm sure you do as well. When you look at your first podcast or your first videos that you put on YouTube and you're like, wow.
Don't go look at that, guys. But you have to start somewhere, right? I know like, who was it? Oh, Shine Diaper. She posted like her very first diaper that she made 9 years ago. And just like the difference that you guys go through and what happens is incredible. Sure. In this thought, I think where do you want to take Blythe Life Creations? What are kind of your goals and your ambitions? Is this something you're seeing yourself doing for a while?
For sure.
I work at home moms always come into different worlds with their passion projects.
It's hard. I feel like, I go back and forth and it kind of depends on the day and how much rest I've had when you ask me that question. Because I'm also homeschooling my 9-year-old as well. And that's something she has begged to do. It's not due to COVID. She has begged to it. And so I have conceded this year to try. And
it's a good season of life to blend.
Yes, I'm trying to make her smarter. So pray for me. But I really feel like I see this going several different ways. Like I've got the copyright to the design and, I'm working on kind of like this utility type patent thing so that I can have the rights to be able to potentially manufacture. And that to me looks like finding moms in the community who need work, who have sewing skills that I can contract and like help me out with.
What is that called? Something? It's like cottage industry work.
Yeah, I believe so. I've been dabbling into doing some research on that and
amazing
really
for you to explore the copyright and the trademark. Like you are savvy and wise in that adventure.
Well, I will tell you it is a journey. It really
I've heard that too.
So, before I even started this, I knew I had something. And so I got a provisional to protect me for a year to be able to figure out what in the world do I want to do with this, And so it is going to be interesting as I navigate the waters of everybody coming out with their versions and what does that look like and being able to copyright that pattern and being able to potentially, what if I want to sell that pattern? What if I want to, get royalties for that pattern and use that to build my business? Or what if I want to manufacture and, be able to employ women in the community here and be able to go towards retail stores? I have been contacted by one I'm really excited about. I need to get back with her on it, but I am researching, what do I need to do to have a wholesale program for retailers? To be able to partner with them. And, is that an option? Is that a possibility? Do I have something there that, people want? And so I think this first few months has really just been navigating the interest, does this work as well for others as it has for me? And, is there something here? And I really think there is. Like, people are getting really excited about it.
I got like 3 or 4 requests for you, Blythe. Which is crazy. I often get requests, but I don't usually get that many requests for the same brand.
That is exciting. And I will admit a little terrifying. I'm just like, gosh, can I keep up with this? But it is exciting. And the fact that it is solving some problems and helping with overnight, it's hard to find a good overnight diaper. And I feel like we're getting there to where, it's solving some of those issues. Another thing that I'm working on.
It sounds like I've caught you in this like incredible transformation stage where you're not quite sure. You're at this crossroads. You're figuring it out, which I also really love because I feel like that is my moment every day. Like I wake up and I'm always like,
what am I doing?
Which road am I taking today? Where do I want to take my business?
Grab a cup of coffee and see where it takes us. Yes, for sure.
I find a lot of peace in knowing that there are other women who are sitting in these crossroads of big dreams.
Yeah. And it's exciting. And I had listened to one of your podcasts the other day, and you were talking about specialized needs diapers. and things like that. And I've got this in an extra large that I'm having a couple moms try out for their littles. And that in itself is super exciting. I'm really looking forward to somebody coming up with a great solution to make them a little bit more independent in their diapering.
So you're talking like high absorbency here. I cut you off when you were talking about overnight diapers. Now you're talking about toddlers. This is your diaper. So we're going to pivot again. Your diaper is, it's wool and it's bamboo and it's cotton. It's all these things. So what I'm hearing is it's super absorbent.
Yeah, it is.
People are using it for nights, or do you have like boost it for nights? What's going on?
So it kind of depends. So I have, depending upon all the different fabrics, also kind of depends on the price, because fabric isn't cheap. And when you're going into the bamboos and the wools and things like that, trying to keep it more affordable. So that's kind of why I dabble into the bamboo cotton blends as well, because I can keep them a little bit more affordable, especially if you do a regular absorbency. So the regular absorbency just has one layer for the insert that you fold. Heavy wetter has 2 layers. So when you're talking that bamboo wool fleece and having 2 layers as an insert, that thing is a bad boy, and it absorbs a lot. So especially if you fold it in that front center zone where a lot of moms with boys are having problems when it comes to that front area,
I had one,
and laying on your stomach and waking up soaked, So I feel like that is starting to help solve that issue. And then of course, like if you add another booster or something small inside of it, just to give it a little bit more of that overnight stability. So we're getting some really cool results. I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Science in it. This is one of my other favorite things to collect. Textiles is like so incredible. I think like part of it, sometimes I'm like, I should have taken a course in college. I wonder if I could still take a course in college about textiles.
I know. That would be, and it is constantly changing too, which is really exciting. There's always something new to try out, which definitely keeps me buying samples. So.
Okay. Well, we've been chatting for a while and I've loved your story. You've taken me on this journey that I didn't even know I was prepared for today when I sat down to call you. If people want to learn more about you, about your product, find out about you, connect with you, where's the best spaces and places to do that?
Yeah, I, for the most part, I'm on Facebook. We have the Blythe Life chat. And so that is where the biggest community is that we're starting to grow. And that's kind of that space where you can see all those fun little, what is she doing? What's she up to? What's the new stuff, to connecting with other moms, to being able to private message me if you need somebody to talk to, about what's going on in life, and just, a safe place. And I'm also on Instagram. And so you can check the Blythe Life Creations on Instagram. I'm learning Instagram. I just put my first stories up there. So I feel like I'm,
you're going to get it. Yeah. So, hey, you've got IGTV on there. You're doing great, girl.
Right? I mean, it might not be the best, but I'm trying. So I think Facebook is probably the best space right now that I've got going on with other moms in this season of life.
And you can purchase your diapers from the BlytheLife.com. No,
yes,
BlytheLife.com.
Yeah, BlytheLife.com. And so whenever I do a release, I'm trying to balance life. So I'm trying to figure out, how often do I release and how do I balance being able to really pour into the little ones I have in my home right now too, and pour into people in this community. So I'm trying to do a drop a month is kind of my goal. And I will put those dates on either Instagram, Facebook, and on the website as well for updates. I'll be releasing a date next week. I didn't do anything for Black Friday. I know a lot of people are saying you should have, but I'm kind of protecting that
That's fine. Yes. Protect your space. I mean, this is coming out probably January, so we'll be moved past Black Friday. Yes. But yeah, you don't have to participate in all the sales. It's okay, Blythe. It's okay.
I know you want to do all the things, but you have these little precious souls looking at you and you're just like, you know what, your first priority. So
it was such a pleasure getting to chat with you. I think I'll just repeat what I said. I was not expecting this story from you today, but that is beautiful. I know it will be well appreciated.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate your time. Thank you for
I love chatting with people. This season of life of a pandemic, this is my favorite part of the day because I haven't talked to another adult.
Yes.
Love podcasting. Absolutely love it. In October 2020, I asked y'all, who should I contact for guests for the Cloth Diaper podcast? And Blythe was one of those. And I didn't know anything about Blythe Life. I didn't even know anything about her brand until that morning. I may have Googled her that day and been like, all right, let's have a conversation. And I was not expecting, and I know I said that in the show, but I was not expecting that journey. It was such a fantastic opportunity to sit down and chat with her, and I am just so grateful to all of you who suggested her, who reached out to me and said, you need to talk to this woman, because I did, and her story was incredible. I loved getting to chat with her, and it's one of those days that I cried a sense of relief. It's just like, sometimes you need to talk to a human, and I know that you guys listening are like, yes, I also need to talk to a human. If you want to be on the Cloth Diaper podcast, seriously, all you got to do is email me, Bailey@clothdiaperpodcast.com. If I don't get back to me, you email me again. I'm always taking guests. I'm always taking sponsorships, and I can't wait to see you next week or the week after or whenever our next show goes live. Thanks.